legitimately and genuinely believe that the £11 million that they're going to take, put aside the moral argument and the outrage about how they shouldn't have to take it in the first place, do we believe that's going to stop Manchester United from doing anything? Is that £11 million going to stop them from investing in buying players, investing in the facility, investing in the training ground, investing in the stadium? If we believe that's going to stop, the £11 million is going to stop them from doing that, by all means, cue outrage.
So answer your own question. Will it stop them doing that?
Of course not.
Right.
What it does is
they can spend it in the training ground.
What it does, if they're not going to spend money in the training grounds, and they don't do that because they've taken £11 million out, then the argument can be waged and raged. If it stops them from investing in the training ground, stops them from acquiring players to compete with the best teams in the league, and stops them from investing inside the stadium,
It doesn't.
Then get off your moral outrage and make the Glazers back your football team back to a position where it's winning the league.
Interesting take here from Simon Jordan, and of course, I forget his name. I think he said Des Kelly. Forget him. Don't even worry about his name. For me, when I look at this, it's the problem with this conversation. And all day today, I've had people message me, "Oh, you've not mentioned the Glazers today. Why haven't you spoke about the Glazers, Terry? You're always on their neck. Why are you not on them? Why are you not chatting about them? Why are you not speaking about them? Why are you not outraged? Where's the energy, Terry? You said they're the biggest problem at Manchester United." I've had people send me this link 7 times today. See, Simon Jordan, he run a football club. He knows how it should be done. He knows what he's talking about. The Glazers aren't a problem, Terry. See, as he said, £11 million being taken out this year isn't going to be an issue. It's a hard one, really. And we'll come back to that in a few moments' time. Don't you worry, we will come back to it. I want to take a look here at what some people have had to say about this. Of course, Phil the Brown here says 2 years ago, the Glazers borrowed £100 million to cover operating costs. Last year, they sold shares of Manchester United future revenues for circa 137 million, which the club never saw a penny of. They are taking another huge dividends today, yet the new manager doesn't have a single new signing. Gary Neville, of course, this week saying the Glazer family should not be taking 11 million in dividends this Friday. It isn't right with the investment needed in the team, stadium, and training ground. The club's cash position is low compared to previous years. An announcement is needed to halt it for the next 3 years minimum. And of course, there's been a lot of outrage from Man United fans. Everybody doing their bit. Oh, it's unfair what the Glazers are doing. Oh, it's terrible. The dividends. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm so outraged. I'm so angry. They're the biggest problem. I'm going to come to the fans a little bit later as well, because I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it. I'm absolutely raging, if I'm being honest with you. Gary Neville and Phil the Brown are right. They have taken hundreds of millions of pounds of dividends out of the football club since they've owned it. But this is what happens with Glazer arguments all the time. Every single time there's a Glazer argument, the same thing is said and the same thing is done again and again and again and again and again and again. It's reduced down to the individual thing being argued. So the 11 million, Simon Jordan's right in the context of this narrow little window. This narrow little window. 11 million is not that deep. But it isn't just about the 11 million this summer, at this moment, at this time. Man United will spend money. Man United have spent money. It's the overall picture that Man United fans have got the problem with. And each and every single time this conversation comes up, that point is ignored. Each and every single time. There's debts of over £500 million upon the football club. There are leaks and holes in the stadium. The Carrington Training Complex has not been updated since 2009. It is one of the worst ranked elite level sports training facilities in the country. And these things matter hugely. Since 2016, there's been £125 million in dividends paid out. £125 million in match day revenue. Sorry, in dividends taken out. Player sale profits are 110 million compared to over 350 million pounds at Liverpool, 500 odd million pounds at Chelsea, and around 230, 240 million pounds at Manchester City. Every element of this club has been run poorly, barring making the Glazers money. Man United fans don't want him here irrespective. Most Man United fans don't want him here irrespective. But the club isn't run right. The debt is where it was when they took over. They've taken billions out of the club across dividends, interest payments, and sort of money they pay towards the debts. So over £1 billion. They've employed the wrong people, and they have taken the club from the most successful team in England over there was across all competitions, and made us a shadow of ourselves over a decade. For a decade now, we've been dwindling away. And you know what, though? Not all Manchester United fans are even frustrated with it. But I'm going to get onto those in a minute. Firstly, I want to address the Man United fans that are outraged today. I've taken screenshots of lots of you. I am keeping receipts. And I'll tell you as to why. Because on days like today, people want to be the best Man United fans in the world. The Glazers are the problem. The Glazers are a disgrace. Look at the money these rich billionaires are taking. All of that's right. But your fake moral outrage is see-through, transparent, predictable. And Simon Jordan's actually right about that point. That point in particular, he is bang on about. What are you actually doing? You tweet when it's dividends day. You tweet or get involved when the Super League issue's on. You get involved in Glazer moments when it's fashionable and in trend to focus on the Glazers. You'll sit there today and say, the Glazers are the reason that we are where we are. The Glazers are the reason that we've fallen from grace. The Glazers are the reason. Because it's fashionable to say that today. In 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, if whoever our manager is at that time, let's just say it's Ten Hag, he's struggling. If all these problems that you're tweeting about today manifest themselves on the football pitch again and we're playing badly, you'll be the first in the manager in, manager out queue, player in, player out queue, player FC shit. Why? Because that will then be fashionable. That will then be the thing to focus upon instead of focusing on the real problem. I don't believe 99.99999% of you charlatans. You only focus on this when it's fashionable. Rival fans hate the Glazers being blamed because it stops you focusing on the managers and players, which is fun to see us go for. And you bow down, you take the knee, you kiss the ring of the rival fans instead of addressing the main problem. That and the other people that won't stop funding the goddamn Glazers. And Simon Jordan's right about that part of his statement. If you really want to do something about it, stop giving them your goddamn money. Stop. You don't need a protest. You don't need a hashtag. You don't need posters. Just stop giving them your money. If you all stop giving them your money, if you cared that much, you pull your money away. If you love your club, pull your money away. That's the best way to support Manchester United. Now, on to the people that don't think there's a problem. My word.
I have somewhat a different opinion about the Glazers. While they're part of the problem, they're not the problem. The problem over the past decade is simply bad investment. Glazers have spent money.
The problem here with that opinion is they are in charge of how that money is invested. They employed the people to run the football club. They are the problem. Point blank.
The problem, aside from the Glazers, is that we've had several people in key positions who have either failed time and time again or don't necessarily the necessary experience for such influential positions. Myrtle probably might mean well, but it's not elite at what he does. Not yet.
Employed by the Glazers. That's all I've really got to say. They're employed by the Glazers. Simple as that.
Glazers taking 11 million isn't that deep. If they put themselves on the payroll monthly, they're entitled to it. It really isn't that deep.
Again, it isn't even so much about the 11 million. Manny, by the way, love you, bro, but that's a howler, bro. That's a howler of an opinion. When it comes down to it, and it's also readdressing Simon Jordan's video, it isn't just about the 11 million. It's about all the money taken out, the bad appointments of senior figures, the hemorrhaging and the wasting of over £1 billion on transfers, £1 billion or so in interest payments taken out of the football club, holes in the state, leaks and holes in the stadium, a training facility ranked as one of the worst in the country for elite level sports. These things all send a message to the team. The owners don't care. And this is what I would love for someone to have challenged the what I would have loved for someone to have challenged Simon with would have been very much, well, hang on a minute. If you run your business badly, if you don't have high standards, and if you don't have high standards, you're taking money out the club, you don't strive to be the best, how can you expect 100% professionalism from your players at all times, especially when those players misbehave and you back them over the manager that's trying to get them to perform? And it's the Glazers, by the way, that did that. And equally, dividends, they're not part of your payroll as such. You know, owners get dividends. It's not even a bonus per se. But the club needs investment in so many areas. So many areas. On the pitch, off the pitch. To be taking money out of your business that you don't really need, billionaires, when it should be getting invested in the football club, there's every reason for Man United fans to be frustrated because, as I say, this isn't we're not focusing on, if you focus on the isolated window of this £11 million, I kind of get it. It looks like a drop in the ocean, but it's the overall package. And I think that the thing for me, it's straws that break camels' backs, you know, tip of the iceberg situations. And that's how I view this. But as I say, look, I'm more frustrated today at the way it's being focused on Simon Jordan and talked about Jim White was his name, by the way. I remember now. Absolute howlers of an opinion. They're literally sitting there and saying it, them taking 11 million doesn't stop them from investing in Manchester United when their dividends being taken out has quite literally stopped the club reinvesting in the stadium, in the training ground. This is not, these guys work for the biggest sports radio station in Europe and they're pretending they don't have that knowledge. Come on now. Where are your experts on here to challenge that opinion? Nowhere to be seen. Where are your proper Man United fans on the channel to challenge it? Where are they? Why aren't you getting the Man United? You've got a lot of Man United fans on your platform. Where are they to challenge this nonsense? Fans out here defending them. They're not really the biggest problem. Everything they go on to say after that is literally things that the Glazers do. It's a madness to me that after all these years, nearly 20 years, people still don't know what they do at the football club. And finally, a lot of the people calling them out today, I have the receipts. I have the screenshots. I'm coming for you. When all this bad behavior you're condemning manifests itself on the pitch again, I want to see you blame the Glazers first. I want to see if you can resist the temptation to bend over for rivals and start slagging managers and players off and instead focus on the real root cause. Of course, you can criticize players and manager tactics. No one's saying you can't do that. But we've fouled since Fergie left because of the way we're run, not because of one individual person or player. Simple as that. Like, I want your thoughts, I want your feelings. We know the Glazers have got to go. We knew they were going to take their dividends. Stop your fake outrage. Stop defending them in other quarters. And people have got to hold these media people to account because they're talking